Montez Sweat is cashing in after that trade with the Bears.
Yeah.
How about that deal? 4 years, $98 million. How much guaranteed?
Yes, $72 million guaranteed.
Oh my goodness.
If memory serves, Roquan Smith was not commanding that same contract anywhere near that.
Weird. Just read my mind, Brad, because I was literally about to say that. I was going to say, isn't this the same franchise that didn't pay Roquan?
Correct. Yeah. And so, only the best linebacker in the league that they didn't sign. So then they go and make another trade for Montez Sweat, signs him for $72 million guaranteed over 4 years. Just kind of a mind-blowing thing. This just feels like Bears being Bears, the organization. So I don't know. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Maybe they're just trying to right a wrong with the Roquan thing. Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like the NFL is cashing in on players playing football, and Montez Sweat is cashing in on the Bears not knowing how to run an organization.
Pretty much.
And let's use Roquan as the example. They decided Roquan Smith was not worth $20 million last year. Now, I think anyone in Baltimore that has watched this defense since Roquan Smith has gotten here will tell you Roquan Smith is worth every single penny he is earning right now. But then the fact that last year they traded a second-round pick to get Chase Claypool.
Yeah. What a move.
Incredible. Who is now
one of the best moves we've ever seen.
Who now is playing tight end for the Miami Dolphins and got a false start yesterday because in the first play he came in, he didn't know where to go and was still lining up and standing when they went and snapped the ball. So his first play, he was, I will say in play 3, he recovered a fumble. So, offensive awareness. And
that's why they traded for him.
That's why
offensive
awareness. But it really is one of those things where they didn't want to give Roquan the money. Then they went out in free agency and signed 2 middle linebackers for just slightly less.
Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds was the big one where they signed to a 4-year, $72 million contract, $50 million guaranteed. Then you signed Montez Sweat, this big deal.
Mm-hmm. Also giving up a second-round pick for Montez Sweat.
That is correct.
Yeah.
But hey, pass rushers they get the top dollar, right? So I will say this: if you're a Bears fan, Parker, would you rather say they make that trade and they don't sign Sweat, even if they overpay for him, or they let him walk in the offseason?
No.
Right. So they at least accomplished that. Mm-hmm. They said, you know what? Now Jalen Johnson might still be pissed.
I was just about to bring that up.
It's because Jalen Johnson, their stud corner, wants a new contract. So you hope then.
Well, so when we talked about this, we actually talked about this on Thursday about Jalen Johnson taking issue with them signing Montez Sweat before him, and he's like, that better not fucking happen.
Yeah, they asked if he would take issue with it, and he said
yeah.
He said yeah,
without
hesitation.
Yeah,
without even hesitating, right? Like he was just like yes, without even thinking about it. So you got to wonder what that locker room's like at this point. I'm sure that Jalen's not going to take it out on Montez.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, I mean,
it ain't his fault.
But you got to think that he's just what's he playing for at this point.
So I was looking a little because I was blown away by his comments just about someone who just came into your team and talking about him. You don't want him to get the contract first. But then I realized the deeper reason is because Jalen Johnson obviously doesn't want to be in Chicago right now. And if Montez Sweat with him now signing that extension frees up the franchise tag to now be used on Jalen. So I'm not sure if it was necessarily him saying, I don't want Sweat to get paid first.
Yeah.
I think he didn't want Sweat to get paid. So Sweat had to be franchise tagged and allow Jalen to go out because now the Bears would be stupid not to franchise tag Jalen Johnson. They have no one else to use it on.
Yeah, I mean, it's all strategical, and that's the part. None of these players have it against other, unless there's something inside the locker room that we don't know about, and you're like I'm like Rock. I'm like, I hate this dude.
Yeah,
right.
There's a lot of drama in the
if I'm like, screw that, I hate this guy. Right. That's why we still work together. What did I do?
You're just the example.
That's a loaded question.
3 other people here.
That's a loaded question.
Hey, had to keep it in the camera frame.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. You're the problem.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
No, but anyway, and all jokes aside, most guys don't have a problem with other people want their other teammates, friends, people around the league to eat. It's good. It's good business. You want to see your guys succeed, right? But it's mainly because Jalen Johnson's like, you're pissed off, but we have seen relationships can get repaired because why?
You're winning.
Well, that too.
But the dollar.
Number one, number two, money talks. Jonathan Taylor, it felt like he was never going to be a Colt again for about a month and a half, right? And everyone was thinking he's coming to Baltimore, he's going somewhere else. And then they go, you know what? We're going to break bread. Here's this contract. And JT's like, I am so happy I'm a Colt.
Money does talk, but I think the market talks too.
Yeah, it talks more.
Right. And that's what we saw with that. So while I agree with you, Ryan, I think the other part of it is that like there is some sort of realization of like, okay, here's what I think I'm worth. And then you start to realize, well, everybody else is getting paid this. So I should probably bring my expectations down.
Yeah. Well,
this, Brad, you like, you can put that on their agents as well. Lamar,
for sure.
The case because he doesn't have one.
For sure.
You put that on the agents as well because a lot of the times, you can have a good agent, you could have a bad agent, and your agent might be in your ear saying, you're worth this. We could definitely get you this, no doubt about it. And a lot of the times, the agent doesn't get paid until you get paid that next salary, and they're going to get a percentage of that. So they want more money for them as much as they want the money for you. Yeah. So sometimes that could tie in as well. Lamar, he got paid. He got paid on his own, and good for him. That's awesome. But you look at some of the guys in the league, and you have to wonder, are they getting bad advice from the – because I want to play devil's advocate here. We talked about how beneficial an agent would be for a player like Lamar Jackson during that time. He did it on his own. All power to him. That it was awesome to see because he set the standard kind of go. I mean, Roquan did it for linebackers, but what Lamar was able to do for quarterbacks by himself, that's incredible. That's something that doesn't come around or happen a lot of the time. So, but you look at guys and it's like, are they getting bad advice from their agents?
Oh,
are they getting bad advice from their representation? Because you look at some of these contracts, you look at some of these decisions, and you shake your head because, I mean, as normal human being, like, 5 average human beings right here.
I say above average.
Whoa. Don't ever talk about Parker that way.
I was going to say 4 average human beings in Parker. Sorry.
That beautiful voice takes you above.
We see some of these decisions, and we're just sitting there, and I think the vast majority of people are, and they're like, why? Like, why did you turn down that contract? Like, I would have taken that in a second, or you should have taken that in a second. But there's always more money out there. I wouldn't call it greed, but I would call it just bad decision making with that. And it might not just be the player that is actually getting that contract for them.
The more people you have involved, and even though you trust them, there's more than mouths that need to be fed. And that's why representation is so important, that you find the right one for you, whatever that may be. And it's just relationships, who you work with. Like, we joke around, but we like working with each other, and there's a trust. Same thing, you have to have that in the sports world, because it's not always good. We're working on trust.
Yeah, we're liking each other.
Yeah, we're working on the liking part.
There's a lot of things in process.
But I'll tell you this, who likes this? All this is every pass rusher that's having an upcoming contract.
Yeah.
Thanks to Montez Sweat, but more importantly, thank you to the Chicago Bears.